You're walking through a landscape of deep, rusty red earth, dry, dusty, unassuming. But what if I told you this crimson ground could be hiding some of the rarest blue gemstones on Earth? What if the very soil beneath your feet was quietly guarding a geologic treasure trove? Stick with me, because by the time we're done, you'll never see red dirt the same way again. Red soil has long been associated with iron oxide, the rust-colored signature of ancient geological transformations. But what many don't realize is that this environment doesn't just hint at iron-rich terrain. It can also be a bold, glowing beacon, signaling the presence of deep blue gemstones hidden within. Let's begin with a surprising one: Sapphire's hidden cousin, blue spinel. Found in metamorphic environments where aluminum and magnesium are present, blue spinel often forms in regions where iron-rich soil dominates the surface. This is particularly true in parts of Southeast Asia and Africa, where red soil is common due to the breakdown of ultramafic rocks. When these rocks weather, they don't just leave behind iron, they leave a cocktail of minerals capable of producing blue spinel deep underground. Now consider this: the presence of laterite, a red soil type rich in iron and aluminum, isn't just a mark of intense weathering. In geological terms, it's a spotlight. Why? Because laterite forms from the breakdown of basalt and gabbro, rocks known to host corundum. That's right, blue sapphire. In several mining regions in Sri Lanka and Madagascar, the red soil is littered with tiny glassy particles, remnants of eroded sapphire-bearing deposits. But how do you trace sapphire or spinel in a sea of red earth? The answer lies in gravels, concentrations of heavier minerals within riverbeds and slope bottoms. In tropical or subtropical areas, red soil forms rapidly and erodes constantly, causing heavier gemstones to sink and settle. This process, known as alluvial concentration, turns red earth from barren terrain into a gemstone hunter's map. There's a story out of Tanzania where locals found a stretch of deep red soil cutting across a plateau. Thought to be useless farmland, but just beneath the surface they struck veins of cordierite, another blue gem often mistaken for sapphire. This aluminum-rich stone forms in metamorphic environments, often close to gneiss or schist, which are abundant beneath ferric laterite zones. But blue isn't just limited to transparent gems. Let's talk about dumortierite, a fibrous, vibrant blue mineral that's often embedded within quartz. While not typically considered a precious gemstone, dumortierite's vivid hue and rarity make it a collector's dream. And yes, it too appears beneath oxidized red soils, especially where volcanic activity once stirred up the Earth's mantle. There's a pattern forming here. Red earth, once dismissed as infertile or worthless, seems to whisper secrets. It speaks of extreme heat, volcanic fire, metamorphic pressure, all of which are necessary to forge brilliant bluestones. Even in regions like Myanmar, where sapphire mines run deep, miners often trace the gem's origin by analyzing overlying soil patterns. Rich red earth often leads to deeper deposits, a breadcrumb trail for the observant. But sometimes it's the presence of aluminum-rich host rocks beneath this red cover that gives rise to bluestones. These rocks, like basalt, gneiss, and pegmatite, often lie buried beneath red tropical soils, waiting to be unearthed. And when ground moisture leaches away iron, it can leave behind pockets where gemstones accumulate, clues hiding in color. Let's explore an often overlooked sign: blue mineral staining in red soil. When trace amounts of copper or aluminum leach from deep rock layers, they may oxidize near the surface, turning patches of red earth subtly purple or blue. These discolorations can be clues, pointing to the presence of secondary minerals like azurite or chrysocolla, both rich in blue tones and both hinting at even deeper mineral riches below. The great irony is this: where most people see lifeless, hot, rusty soil, professional gem hunters see contrast. The deep red provides a perfect canvas for spotting the occasional glint of something extraordinary. Even under the blazing sun, those flashes of color, iridescent, sometimes almost metallic, stand out in ways they wouldn't in darker or greener environments. Think of the red soil as a kind of geological canvas. Every crack, every grain tells a story. It's in these transitions between red and blue, dry and wet, soft and solid, that nature's most guarded treasures hide. But it takes trained eyes to notice them. In Australia, where opals and sapphires are routinely found in iron-rich outback soils, miners often begin their surveys not with tools, but by reading the landscape's color palette. Because here's the truth. Color always leads, and red isn't the end of the story. In gemstone lore, it's often the beginning. So if you've ever dismissed red soil as poor ground, think again. You may have walked over blue treasures without ever knowing it. Somewhere deep in Madagascar's remote highlands, red soils streak the hills like rivers of rust. But hiding beneath them, nearly invisible without the right eye, is a beryl cousin so rare it makes even aquamarines jealous. This is where you'll find indicolite tourmaline, a gemstone painted in electric blues and teals, often growing in harmony with pinks and greens inside weathered pegmatites that have been bleeding minerals for millions of years. That iron-rich red dirt? It's the signature, the fingerprint of ancient hydrothermal chaos. Now let's head to Brazil, specifically the legendary region of Minas Gerais. The hills there aren't just red, they burn crimson under the sun. And they carry a secret. Beneath that fiery surface lie veins of hidden imperial topaz and ultramarine fluorapatite. The mineral-rich laterite soils formed from deep tropical weathering may look ordinary, but when cracked open, they sometimes spill gems that mirror the sky. But what causes this strange pairing of red earth and blue brilliance? It's all about iron. Red soil is usually the product of iron oxides like hematite and goethite. In the same regions where iron-rich fluids once surged through fractures, they often dragged along other metals, lithium, boron, beryllium, forming the elemental cocktail required to grow blue gemstones like sapphire, kyanite, or even dumortierite. It's a geologic paradox, red above, blue below. In Tanzania, the famed Merelani Hills tell another story. While they're best known for tanzanite, few realize the surrounding red soils, dyed by the presence of garnet and iron, also hide veins of zoisite and rare blue-green sapphires. These stones don't always come out clean or polished. Some are crusted in host rock, their glow hidden beneath grime and weathered crystal faces. Closer to the Himalayas, parts of Nepal and northern India are marked by rich red lateritic zones. Prospectors rarely give them a second look. But if they did, they might discover a secret: stunning blue spinels lying dormant inside ultramafic intrusions. Found only where tectonic plates once crushed oceans into mountain ranges, these spinels shimmer like sapphires but carry none of the fame, only the raw beauty of deep earth pressure. Let's not forget North America. In the southern United States, specifically Georgia and Alabama, thick red clay coats the landscape like a blanket. Beneath these soils, kyanite, a mineral that may not scream gemstone until light hits its perfectly aligned crystals. It forms in metamorphic zones where the red earth tells a much older story of subduction, heat, and pressure. And there's one more place where the red meets the blue: the Australian outback. Here the soil is a deep, almost Mars-like red, dry, cracked, hostile. But inside the sandstone cavities of this unforgiving land lie precious opals, some black, some white, some with dazzling electric blues that ripple like oil on water. These opals form when groundwater, rich in silica, fills the voids in iron-stained sedimentary rock. When it dries out, it leaves behind liquid rainbows encased in stone. So what's the takeaway? Every time you see red soil, don't just assume it's empty, look for the signs. Mineralized fractures, quartz veins, oddly colored stones, and ancient riverbeds now dry. Look for hardness, crystals that scratch glass, shine under UV, or react oddly to a magnet. Because red earth is not just the land's outer skin, it's a trail of clues left by time. And sometimes those clues point directly to a gem that's worth far more than the dirt hiding it. If you've walked on red earth, you may have been closer to a rare gemstone than you ever imagined. These blue beauties don't scream for attention. They whisper from the shadows, from iron-scarred hills, from ancient hydrothermal chambers, and from the dust beneath your boots. So the next time you find yourself standing on crimson soil, ask, what's buried just beneath the surface? Because in the world of gemstones, the loudest treasures are often hidden in the quietest places. This is EGS Pro, reminding you, the earth doesn't hide its riches, it simply makes you earn the right to see them.